They don't tell you this, but some of the biggest enemies to your hustle are not outside of you, they are inside you. And one of the most dangerous is masturbation. Not because it's a sin, not because it's dirty, but because it silently kills your drive, your energy, and your future. Today, let's talk about how masturbation is destroying your focus, especially if you're trying to become something in life. This is dreamheavyzone, and we talk real. When you release that dopamine rush through masturbation, your brain thinks you've achieved something. It rewards you like you just won a battle, but you did absolutely nothing. You didn't build a business, you didn't create content, you didn't make money, you didn't build muscle, but your brain thinks, well done, you deserve rest. So guess what happens? You lose the urge to grind. You lose the hunger. You become satisfied with doing nothing. That's why you keep saying, I'll do it later. Tomorrow I'll start. I'm not feeling motivated today. Bro, you're not lazy. You're leaking your fire. Every time you masturbate, you don't just release semen, you release focus, energy, willpower, and clarity. That's why you can't concentrate. That's why you're anxious. That's why you can't even finish a 5-minute task without checking your phone. Masturbation creates a mental fog, and for hustlers, clarity is everything. Here's how the trap works. You feel stressed. You escape through porn and masturbation. You feel guilty afterwards. So you lose confidence. Then you stress again and escape again. It becomes a loop that eats your time, energy, and self-worth. Instead of creating, you consume. Instead of attacking your goals, you retreat. And bro, you can't fight poverty if you're always running from discipline. Masturbation trains your brain to choose pleasure over progress. If you're serious about building something big, a YouTube channel, a business, a new life, you can't afford to be unfocused. Masturbation robs you of the two things every hustler needs: self-control and drive. Without those two, you're like a car without wheels. You'll go nowhere fast. Nobody said it's easy. But do you want to feel good now or live good later? Every time you say no to masturbation, you say yes to power. You say yes to progress. You say yes to becoming a weapon in the war against poverty. This is not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Your focus is your fire. Protect it. Most people won't get it. Most people don't care. But if you're watching this, it means you're different. You're a builder, a warrior, a dreamer, so act like it. Discipline is what separates men who dream from men who build the dream. Stop wasting your life on fake pleasure. Start building a real future. This is dreamheavyzone. We don't play, we build. Let me tell you about Eli, a young man with big dreams. He wanted to start his clothing brand. He had the talent, the designs, even a vision board with goals. But behind closed doors, every night Eli would scroll through explicit content. 1 hour, 2 hours, then release. The next day, he'd wake up late, miss the morning fire. He kept telling himself, tomorrow I'll design. But tomorrow never came. Weeks passed, then months. And that clothing brand, it stayed in his mind, never in the market. Not because he wasn't good enough, but because his energy was being drained in the shadows. Now imagine if Eli had channeled that same energy into creating, promoting, learning. He'd be 6 months ahead instead of 6 months behind. That's the real cost. You're not your urges. You're not your addiction. You are what you decide to fight for, day after day. If you want to win in this world, you can't afford to be a slave to every feeling. Hustlers don't follow feelings, they follow purpose. Remember, every time you say no to fake pleasure, you're saying yes to your future, family, your dreams, your legacy. So wake up with fire, protect your energy, reject distractions, build discipline, and most of all, dream heavy. Because the life you want is on the other side of consistency.